Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unmanned. More than 50,000 LAANC applications processed. University of Maryland demonstrates human organ transport by drone. And Intel Shooting Star mini drones make the holiday season even brighter. Hello, I'm Laura Hutson. Welcome to the Aero-News Network's Airborne-Unmanned program, a weekly news program covering all things unmanned, in partnership with AUVSI, the Association for Unmanned Vehicle Systems International. The FAA's nationwide deployment of the low-altitude authorization and notification capability has exceeded all of the program's original objectives. Since the program began with a prototype system in November 2017, LAANC has processed more than 50,000 applications, from drone operators for authorization to fly in controlled airspace. The system now covers almost 300 air traffic facilities, serving approximately 500 airports, providing near instantaneous approvals and allowing operators to quickly plan their flights. LAANC helps support the safe integration of drones into the nation's airspace. The system uses airspace data provided through temporary flight restrictions, notices to airmen, and unmanned aircraft systems facility maps that show the maximum altitude ceiling around airports where the FAA may authorize operations under Part 107, the small rule for commercial and public agency operators. The FAA has approved 14 LAANC service suppliers. Instructions on how to apply are provided by each supplier. Drone operators also may file for airspace authorizations using the FAA Drone Zone, including for areas not covered by LAANC or when the operator holds a Part 107 waiver. In the next Unmanned Minute, let's take a brief look at a few of the shorter stories that are making the rounds of the unmanned vehicle communities. Hirth Engines has launched a new website and customer portal as part of the company's expansion plan and implementation of a global market-focused strategy. According to Peter Lights, Director of International Sales and Services at Hirth Engines, the company has set its sights on consolidating its leading role in the development of two-stroke engines for a range of diverse sectors. Next-generation R&D will focus on hybrid engines, with multiple applications for the unmanned vehicle industry. The vehicle flown in a September flight at Snow Hill Park in Mechanicsville, Maryland, was nothing new for Ryan Henderson, the pilot at the University of Maryland UAS test site, or the audience of Naval and Defense contractor staff. That afternoon, Henderson, UAS test engineer Josh Gause, and project engineer Luan DeYoung successfully navigated a robotic boat almost a mile offshore using radio signals relayed from a Phoenix 60 vehicle soaring overhead. General Atomics Aeronautical Systems has been advised that the Australian government has selected the Armed Remotely Piloted Aircraft System under Project Air 7003 for its Australian Defence Force. The ADF joins other military forces in choosing an MQ-9 variant because of its proven multi-role combat performance. Known as the Operator's Choice, the MQ-9 is part of GA-ASI's Predator series of RPAs, which is the world's most trusted and capable armed medium-altitude, long-endurance RPAs, and hails from a family of RPAs, which recently surpassed 5 million flight hours. Rutherford County, Tennessee has received an FAA waiver to conduct commercial UAS operations over people, becoming the first and only county government in the U.S. with this capability. The county will utilize Vantage Robotics Snap UAS for these operations in both emergency and non-emergency situations. This landmark FAA waiver comes a little over a year after the FAA granted CNN a first-of-its-kind Part 107 waiver that allows the media organization to fly a small UAS over people. That was our Unmanned Minute. Now back to the rest of the news. A University of Maryland Medical Center doctor, working with the school's Department of Aerospace Engineering, has successfully transported a kidney by drone in an experiment that could lead to faster delivery of organs for transplant. The kidney used in the experiment was not healthy enough to be used for a transplant. The results were published November 6 in the IEEE Journal of Translational Engineering and Health and Medicine. For the experiment, the kidney was transported by a DJI M600 Pro drone in a container chilled to 2.5 degrees centigrade. Over 14 flight missions, it was in the container for a little more than an hour and flew 1.5 miles and reached a maximum speed of 36.5 knots. The study found that the organ was subjected to slightly less vibration than one in a control experiment transported in a King Air. The kidney exhibited no damage from the flight. Dr. Joseph Scalea said that the 3-year project is a first step that I think will get patients closer to their life-saving organs quicker and with better outcomes. He said that an experiment with a kidney that is suitable for transplant could come early next year. This holiday season, Intel Shooting Star mini drones are helping to delight audiences in the Christmas spectacular starring the Radio City Rockettes. During this year's new final scene, up to 100 Intel mini drones will create a groundbreaking magical holiday drone light show over the great stage of Radio City, using choreographed movements to create holiday-themed silhouettes. This large-scale integrated drone performance will mark the first of its kind for theater and for Intel. The Christmas spectacular starring the Radio City Rockettes is running now through January 1st. Weighing in at less than 2.4 ounces, the Intel Shooting Star mini drone is constructed with a soft frame made of flexible plastic. A 180-degree cage covers the 4 propellers. The Intel mini drone fits in the palm of a typical hand, all features designed to promote safety when flying near people. Well, that's our program for this week. In addition to this program, our Airborne Unlimited episodes covering the entire aviation and aerospace world are streamed on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and tweet us. Get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. And more information on the innovative world of all things unmanned at auvsi.org and airborne-unmanned.net. We'll see you next week.